who, as the kids were growing up in the 80s, it's the voice that one of the voices we heard on TV and had an influence on our sports in our sports appreciation because Didi, he was one of the main voices on Didi, and his passing away yesterday is indeed a sad event, and our homage to him and condolences to the entire family.
Yeah, I think his son is on commentary in one of the channels, right?
Yeah, Gautam Bhimani is on, and he's very good. I mean, I like him very much. He's good, and
Anyway.
Kishore Bhimani was one of the legends, so we need to pay our respects to him.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I remember I used to read some of his articles also. They were pretty insightful as I was growing up in my life. I mean, in Delhi.
He can get slightly garrulous on air, much like us.
That's okay.
But he had a profound impact.
Who isn't garrulous on air?
Exactly. He had a profound impact on us kids growing up in the 80s. Remember, Raj? We were
yes, definitely.
We were we were kids.
We still are kids. As far as I'm concerned, I have not moved. So,
and talking of being kids, both RCB and KXFB were almost like kids.
Which is why I feel, I mean, that is the headline of the show, which is why I feel both KL Rahul and Virat Kohli need to go to that academy that Kohli is pitching for, right? I mean, continuous learning. I think they both need a crash course there. One, how to sort of win when they have to win, and one, how not to mess around when something is working for you. I think these two courses they need to do very quickly.
I mean, as you said, the Americans, the usual American cliche, why change something which ain't broke?
Yeah, never fix anything which ain't broke. What my friends used to say.
So, that is what RCB did, and that was where the seeds of RCB's defeat last night lay, because they tampered around with the batting order. Then there was no need for it. Unless otherwise they were trying to experiment. If that had been the case, there was a case for Sundar and Dubey walking in, but otherwise there was no need for that. And they were not experimenting. The idea was the left and right combination, which is...
Why would you have that? Bala, when you are playing AB de Villiers...
But it's absolute bullshit.
Yeah, when AB de Villiers is playing, he plays every left, right, 360, man.
I mean, exactly. I mean, you said it. I mean...
I mean, you don't know which hand. I mean, for all you know, if Virat Kohli had told, anyway, he started keeping wickets. If Kohli had told AB, hey, bat left-handed man for Machan, but bat left-handed for some time, he would have agreed. Yeah.
Agreed.
He does it anyways.
And who was the bowler who kept Dubey and Sundar silent? It was Maxwell of all the bowlers.
Yeah.
So,
so that I think that entire I mean it was sort of fun. It was almost like a comedy being enacted. I was wondering like what is happening, what are they trying to do, where are they going?
It was a comedy which found a match in a farce that played out in the last 3 hours.
Yes. So to me, yesterday was the entire. I think it was a comedy of. I mean, we could have probably called it comedy of errors.
Yes, but it was towards the end. It was like watching a very badly made B-grade Bollywood flick. In the sense, the twist and turns
suspense,
but it was not organized. I mean, you have 18 balls to score around 11 runs, man.
Yeah.
3 overs, 18 balls, 11 runs. You bring it to the last ball. I mean, if you had written it as a script on this thing, anybody would have, hey, this doesn't work, man. This is not realistic.
Yeah, honestly, I think even Karan Johar would have refused the script.
Yes.
Okay, I'll stop it there.
Yeah.
Let's not go.
See, the problem with reality is, the difference between reality and fiction is, fiction has to be slightly believable. Yeah. Reality doesn't need to. That's where the paradox lies.
I know. So I mean, we won't even go there. See, there were twists and turns in the match. There were a lot of things I liked about the match, by the way.
Exactly.
So, to be honest, I liked a lot of things in the match. So we are not going to dwell on the
kitschy part of it.
Yes, yeah. I will keep it out because I think everybody has spoken about it. I think so. We'll just look at what maybe each of us liked about what we saw yesterday. For starting with, for me, the biggest thing was the way
match win.
No, before that, I loved the way. So initially, when they came into bat, again, Aaron Finch was trying to get into form by walking into the bowlers. So that is one way. That is a way which, if you can do it, it actually helps you, because you are then putting doubts in the bowler's mind as to what he is doing. Most 9 out of 10 bowlers would actually then start looking at you or sort of decide at the last minute. Why do I say that? See, Chris Morris, who was the best bowler on display yesterday, in my mind at least, when Gale was on the ground, he was actually bowling wides here.
Wides.
So
I mean,
you get
that's
scared.
now the patented way of bowling.
Yeah, you do get a little worried, and then you were going for wides. Not that you were bowling wide Yorkers. You were just actually bowling wide. I mean, somewhere in your mind, you were trying to outthink the batsman.
Because
so that was one thing.
A 41-year-old man, you both say about that.
Yeah, so that was the first thing for me. And then, like Bala, you said, Murugan Ashwin. We have been trying ourselves to suppose why he is not playing the. See, he's 30 now. He's not a kid. I mean, he's 30 years old. And he has had a good outing whenever he got a chance.
Yeah, exactly. He had in his previous match he had 3 wickets. Now.
3 wickets, and see the fact that you kept him out. See, Murugan Ashwin is not new to IPL. I'm sure many of people who are watching.
He's one of the.
He has been around for quite some. Yeah,
he's one of the
he was sold for 4 crores plus, if I remember right. First time,
exactly.
Yeah, and then now, which team does he come from? RCB.
At one point, Raj, since you brought up RCB, I have to tell you this. See, the 3 batsmen who scored yesterday for KXIP were all RCB, ex-RCB guys.
Yes.
That's kind of poetic justice, man.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. I mean, so
Agarwal, Rahul and Gale. In 2016, both Rahul and Gale were responsible for taking RCB to the finals.
And Rahul was in peak form that time, and Gale was also blasting his head away. So for me, I was actually chatting with somebody last night, and then this person said, I think KXIP should probably change their name. Now it should be Karnataka 11 for Punjab.
Yeah, that's right. KXXP.
Anyway,
and the 2 matches they won so far in tournament against RCB.
Yeah, so I heard some of the other commentators say, Rahul might be just wondering what they have to do to ensure that their remaining 7 matches or 6 matches are also played against RCB. So we'll stop there. Yeah, anyway, coming back to the likes, Murugan Ashwin was, for me, he was brilliant.
And the way he bowled to R&R Finch. That particular wicket was...
And even other than that, now forget about the wickets. The way he was actually, he even kept Kohli quiet. Kohli could at best get singles off him. I mean, he was not getting his big shots in. So,
that's a very good point you bring in, Raj, because that is a bit of a problem in Kohli's batting. I guess it's also in the media slightly.
Yeah.
I mean, in the first 7 balls, he scored 3 boundaries. After that, he didn't score a boundary. And though his batting looks kind of way, because he makes it up with this amazing ability to run between the wickets. Yeah. But his sudden reluctance to go for the big shots, boundaries, and 4s and 6s, especially in the latter part of the innings, is a bit of a problem. Because there was not even a single boundary in this innings. And even in the previous innings, he has not been able to hit those big boundaries.
Yeah.
Which in a T20, and RCB can get away with that in this league phase. But if it enters the playoff, those things become even more crucial. And that is where, that is an important point that RCB's think tank need to go back and address. Not just RCB's think tank, Kohli himself. Kohli is too much of he is a great player. No doubts about that. And he knows what he is doing. So probably he was slightly worried that RCB doesn't have much of a firepower below him. But yesterday, Isuru Udana and Chris Morris gave him a lot of hope. They managed to score a lot of good runs with the big hitting using the long hander.
So I'll just prove that in numbers. See, when Murugan Ashwin was bowling, Murugan Ashwin gave away one boundary to Finch. And the next ball he got him.
That was an edge. That was
an edge. It would have been caught. Had Gale been 6 inches to his left, I think it would have been caught. If he was awake. So that's a different story. Yeah, that is a different story. We're not getting there. And then thereafter, Ashwin didn't give away a boundary to Kohli, Sundar, and Shivam Dube. These are the 3 batsmen against whom he bowled. So 3 overs he didn't give away. Then later on he comes back in the 17th over and he gave away 2 + 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 runs.
6 runs. Yes.
To again Virat Kohli and De Villiers.
Yes.
So my point is that is where I think Anil Kumble specifically, being a leg spinner, Anil Kumble needs to sort of look hard at it. It's not about bowling this bowler versus that bowler, this matchups that we are talking about. I don't think that works. You just play the guy who's likely to give you a wicket or likely to contain runs, and he was bowling well. Same
Ashwin
way,
is in very good relation.
same way. What is your thought on Washington Sundar suddenly coming in at after 6 overs yesterday?
After the power play, that was equally weird. As weird
Right.
as he batting higher up in the order.
So my point is that when your team is team meetings and all, I don't know how it is done. Even in our school level, college level, we used to say, okay, isko pakadna hai yaar, isko ye pakad sakta hai. We'll have that in mind, but then we would say, okay, you unleash your best guys. I mean, you're playing a 30-over match during a school days and all. You unleash your. I mean, we knew that the guys, we could bowl 6 overs per person, so we would basically finish 12 of the best overs in the beginning, and hope that the other team is 3 or 3
Then
down.
again, that was bad thinking, because they thought they will have him when Gale was around.
Yeah,
I mean, Gale hit him for 4 sixes last night.
I mean, seriously,
two sixes. I think he erred on the length, which so far he had very spot. He was being spot on.
This happens.
But 2 of the sixes you have to credit to Gale. That was typical Gale, because he kind of opened himself up, especially around his midriff. That was typical. That is understandable. But 2 balls that he erred on the length. So he actually went for 4 sixes, if you remember, off Gale.
Correct.
So you also your best bowler, you also brought down his confidence after.
Precisely. See, now I'll give you. See, then now, I mean, this is one thing which I liked. The second one came in the second innings, where Mayank Agarwal, again, I loved the way he was going and meeting Chahal.
He
was brilliant.
He was outstanding, man. He kind of set it up. Though KL Rahul won the man of the match, Mayank's aggression right at the top is what is helping KXIP at least to stay in the hunt. Though they
forget that, and he's actually telling a lot to other people who are how to face Chahal, because Chahal didn't bowl badly yesterday. He bowled very well yesterday.
But those two initial, I mean, the last over was brilliant.
But by that time, it was done and dusted. Although they almost
gave away runs in the first. I mean, he was targeted.
Yeah, so he was, and then how do you see? We have been talking about this, right? The bowler's job is to contain, and the batsman's job is to find a way around it.
Exactly.
So Mayank Agarwal hit him for a 6 and 2 fours in the first over. How did he do that?
Chahal got him.
That's true. How did he do that? By coming down the pitch.
Walking down.
Yeah. Yes. He and then you had AB de Villiers standing right behind. My point is that it's the intent that matters. You might get out doing that once in a while. Chahal might turn one outside your reach. Something might happen. And you saw Chahal's expression after he got this guy out. He didn't have answers. He was upset. You could see that. And he did a bye-bye, which might fetch him some negative points. He sort of sent him off by he did that. So,
but I don't think CSK got any negative point for Dhoni's this thing, because just going by the fair play.
Nowadays these things add up. No. Till you get to a point where you're docked a match or.
But I don't know how this fair play system works.
No, it's not about fair play. I'm talking about even otherwise.
I mean, that's we are digressing. But the problem is, Punjab also has a strange problem. See, though Gale scored runs, he scored a 50, everything. For first 15 balls, he had scored only around 7. See, Gale is a kind of a batsman, especially at this stage of his career, where he can't run, where he needs those power play overs to hit those big shots. Because post power play, he has a problem. Because when fielders spread out, so that is a problem. That Punjab, then again, we also discussed this. Punjab is in a position where they can't dismantle the opening combinations.
See, now, if you need to play Gale, Bala, I don't think they have a choice. I don't know whether I'll go with Rahul and Gale or Mayank and Gale. I'll go with, I'll tell you the reason why. For the next, KXIP is done with Sharjah. Now we are talking about bigger grounds. Now, these guys, if they bat for 8 overs or 6 overs, that is Mayank and Rahul. What happens to Gale? He can't run to save his life. He didn't yesterday, right? He got run out.
No. But that run out, anybody would have. There was no run in it.
So
that's okay.
Which is another reason why I can question Rahul and say, why the hell were you running? It's better that you play the last ball than you can't put the onus on him.
Even that final 6 was
just
too close for compare.
So anyway, like I said, we won't go there. So for me, these 2-3 things were very interesting yesterday. And Chris Morris's bowling. So I feel,
vindicated
that, look, maybe he was not well. That's what I hear. But then I think he probably was he had to be their go-to person, because hits the length.
If RCB, RCB didn't win, but RCB, if there had to be a man of the match from the RCB, then it was Chris Morris, man. Both in batting and they got to the runs. I mean, they should have settled around 150. They went past 170 purely because of his
Yeah,
slant leg
20
batting,
yeah,
and his bowling was terrific.
yeah. So
So
I think more than now, where does that leave Kings 11? Uh, so I don't know. I mean, if I was KL Rahul, I
they
would be feeling down.
they simply have to win every match.
That apart, I would actually, instead of winning those 2 points yesterday, I would feel actually let down. I will feel uneasy because if this is what I'm going to do when I have 3 overs to spare,
But
what am I
at the
saying?
end, But at the end, one of the pictures, I think I saw it in Cricket for something, which was pretty telling. Puran was exulting and was going like that, whereas Rahul was on his haunches, head down, almost as if RCB
Yeah.
had lost.
So
This contrast was.
So this is the second time Rahul is. I mean, the same picture of Rahul is being flashed. One time he won, one time he lost. You put two together and say which is which, you won't be able to know.
Oh yeah, but another picture was almost very comical. Was everyone in the dugout was celebrating?
As if they won the IPL.
Yeah, but which is okay. I was celebrating is only one guy was sitting stone faced doing nothing. Jimmy Neesham. It was it was as if he was watching a serious movie in a theater. He was sitting like this.
Yeah, probably he's right. He might be wondering how did we get to this. And
yeah,
I don't think we have answers, right?
Yeah, but the Jimmy Neesham is kind of I don't know. Man. He's pretty funny on Twitter. It's okay. But I don't know.
So this wasn't funny, Bala. To be honest, this wasn't funny. I mean, if you sort of, you have 11 runs to score in 18 deliveries and then you bring it to the last ball, I mean, definitely it is not funny. So I am with Jimmy Neesham.
Not in a way.
Yeah. I mean, if you have any intention, see now the next 3 matches they are playing in, I think Abu Dhabi or Dubai, one ground. Obviously, a larger ground.
It is not in Sharjah.
It is not in Sharjah. So I mean, I think you have more questions. And as far as RCB is concerned, I don't think they have any questions. I think they need to accept that the answers they gave in the exam. You know how in school we used to write an answer and then come out and then cross-check whether the answer was right. Ayyo, 5 marks gone.
Exactly.
So now Virat Kohli needs to have confidence that the answers he wrote were right. And not cross-check with other people and say, okay, let me change the answer.
And let's not get these two strategies who tend to be too cute, man. Left-right combination, especially with De Villiers, as you rightly said, who can bat any which way he wants. That doesn't work. Talking of questions, simple question. Today's match. We'll get back to today's match.
Today's match. I would just say it's like Chris Gayle coming before any other opposition. So it is Mumbai Indians coming against KKR. I mean, with whom they have Mumbai Indians has a 26 record. They have won 20 matches to 6 lost.
2 lopsided.
2 lopsided. So when Dinesh Karthik wakes up, he probably will see Rohit Sharma standing like Chris Gayle. So I think I will leave it there.
And they had a close win in the last match, right?
Yeah.
Against SRH.
Yeah.
What was the last match?
KKR has been having close matches only. I mean,
yeah.
And then KKR also has one guy who was not fired, Dreras. So I don't know. I mean, it's just.
But he is one player whom you can count to come to the party anytime.
Yeah. So the day he's, I mean,
even Morgan and Karthik need to be more consistent. Karthik has had only one good match as a batsman.
Morgan has probably 2 matches or 3 matches.
2 matches. So, but the Morgan that you know of hasn't been there so far. Has not been evident so far.
Yes. So I don't see any problems for Mumbai Indians. I think the only thing that if I were in the Mumbai Indians camp, I would say, okay, do I want to test out some of these guys now or after 2 matches? I mean, after I get to 16 points, that's the only question I need to ask.
Unless otherwise they try to be too cute like RCB tried to last night.
I don't think Rohit Sharma is that sort of a guy. I mean, see, again, we talked about people running on instinct. I think Rohit Sharma has run on instinct till now. I mean, he's probably the only captain now left. I mean, we talked about others also, but now I think he's the only captain who's running purely on instinct and he's going by his gut and sort of getting things past.
And yesterday's match was, just to digress again, but it was not just about captains. It's the modern day blight of running a team with a team of analysts and running it from the dugout.
Yeah.
That's the.
I come from my alternate profession is counseling, where one of the words we use a lot is analysis leads to paralysis.
Okay.
So I mean, see the best of. I mean, you look at any field. Forget about sports. look at any field, if there is a lot of analysis, you can actually see it in the performance, whatever performance that is, whether it is movies or, Kamal Haasan is, you and I love Kamal Haasan. Kamal Haasan is a master of being
yes,
instinct, right? Mohanlal is a master of instinct.
Acting is all about instinct.
Yeah. Nasiruddin Shah prepares, but then I was actually thinking Nasiruddin Shah prepares for each dialogue. No, he prepares for the situation, and then he lets it go. So this is cinema, another favorite topic of ours. Football.
Because Harsha Bhogle had a terrific line long back. All the spontaneous things said on air comes with a lot of preparation. That's a brilliant line. Because spontaneity is kindled through preparation, man.
True. You prepare for a situation. You don't prepare to say, okay, after this line I'll say this line. After this. No. So this analysis thing which is coming. I was watching one of the shows on Crickbuzz. Virendra Sehwag and Ajay Jadeja were having a whale of a time on the data part. They were just going berserk on that. So like Sehwag had this thing about matchups. He says, look, a batsman and a bowler, when they are facing each other, is a matchup. Why do you want to
That's very
plan that?
He reduced it to its very elementary level.
Yeah, elementary level. Because that is the way he played cricket. Very
See
simple,
the ball,
right?
hit it. That's it.
Simple. That cricket is about bat and ball. No, if you analyze too much, so I remember one.
It's a very uncluttered mind. It's impossible to be like Sehwag.
I remember one comment where I heard Ashwin say. Ashwin said that Sehwag doesn't even consider off-spin as a type of variety of bowling.
A bowlers. That's what Sehwag himself said in one of Ashwin's shows or in one of the interviews that he had.
Yeah.
He said that. True.
So my point is simple, man. That is what it is. So I think Mumbai Indians have done that. I think their support staff. I don't know. I'm just imagining. Their support staff, the guys who are around the team. I don't think they are bigger than the team. So whether it is a Robin Singh or Shane Bond, they have a good team, by the way. And Mahela Jayawardena, he's sitting there. So all of these guys are silently working at the back, and then they're sort of they're telling Rohit
Zahir Khan is also there.
Zahir Khan. They're saying, Rohit Sharma, this is your team. Run with it. And
Tyrone Pollard has been a very good influence on the team as a senior.
For me, I'm surprised and shocked actually that Virat Kohli, who probably doesn't have one, what do you say? What is that word I'm looking for? A single bone in his body which is not aggressive.
Aggressive, exactly.
Suddenly you had him taking very decisions which were very safe.
Safe.
Which were attempting
too defensive.
Safe. Yeah, too defensive. Yeah, that is the word I was looking for.
Okay.
So so this is where analysis leads you, Bala. So you're bang on. I think the more you analyze, the more paralyzed you get, and you just make changes for the heck of it.
Let's also stop our analysis of their analysis.
Their analysis. We are saying don't analyze. Be like Sehwag, man. That is the fun part of it.
After 20 minutes, more than 20 minutes of analyzing it, we are saying
don't analyze.
Very typical of us.
Yes, I think on that happy note, we'll say bye for today, and we'll see how Mumbai goes and how KKR goes, and be back with you tomorrow for a show.
Sure.
Banter, keep watching. We have a Facebook channel now. We have a YouTube channel. Go like if you like it. That is, don't have to like it.
Even if you just like it, it helps us.
Yeah. Even if you don't like it, don't analyze. Don't analyze.
Right, exactly.
So on that happy note, we'll say bye, and we'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe and
stay healthy. Bye.